BMX Bandits. After a successful Sydney bank robbery with the robbers wearing pig masks and wielding shotguns, the man in charge plans a further bigger payroll robbery for 2 days later, worth at least $1.5 million. Hoping that he can trust his less than competent gang headed by Whitey and Mustache to do the job properly with anyone who doesn't
answer now.
Two young BMX experts, PJ and Goose, meet Judy, young Nicole Kidman. It's a shopping cart gatherer at the mall during the school holidays in order to buy her own BMX bike, and they accidentally get Judy fired. The three take a day trip on Goose's father's boat looking for cockles to sell in order to fix their crash bikes. So they go like in Australia, you can just drive your boat around and find mollusks and then sell them and make some money, which is pretty cool. This takes place in Manly, which is like a coastal area of Australia that has like a bunch of pine trees, and it looks pretty cool because instead of like palm trees, it's like pine trees. So that's really weird, you know, like you don't see that every day, or at least not usually, at least not in like films or TV shows. Looking for cockles, they stumble onto a box full of walkie-talkies the bank robbers were hoping to use to monitor police traffic. After stealing the box, bad kids pass Whitey and Mustache on their way to get the box. Which is like really stupid because like they just stole some shit and then some people are going towards that where they stole the shit and Nicole Kidman's like, hey, nice boat. So, I mean, like they were very bad at criminal behavior. Like they're very bad criminals. They're terrible at criminality. The kids sell the walkie-talkies to the other kids in the area. The police hear the kids talking on the airwaves and start looking for them. After they're spotted, they're chased by Whitey and Mustache through a cemetery. Whitey and Mustache are pretty funny. They're like slapstick comedy. Like they're pretty funny. They're like falling over each other all the time. It's pretty good. This movie is really great 80s nostalgia. And it's a really great 80s sort of comedy, action, thriller, drama, but like not even. You know, like it's more of a comedy, but it's like kind of like a coming of age tale. I don't even know what the hell to call this movie. They go formal by putting on monster masks and then go into the graveyard trying to get these kids to get the walkie-talkies back. Judy gets caught the next day by the mustache creep guys. PJ and Goose save her. The trio are finally arrested but escape police custody. With the help of the local kids, launch their own plan to foil the bad guys using the walkie-talkies. The bandits pinpoint the meeting place for the robbers. Then the BMX Bandits. They catch the robbers and then they use the money that they get in reward to build a BMX track for the town. So all the kids have a place to ride BMXs and stop getting harassed by the cops. It's got Nicole Kidman, Angelo D'Angelo, Brian Marshall, David Argue. These people are the ones that are like highlighted, although Angelo D'Angelo is not. The UK Guardian said there's a girl called Nicole Kidman who's rather good. She's pretty good in the movie. The movie's great. It's a great thing to watch if you like 80s nostalgia on like a weekend. It's a great weekend movie because it used to come on in the 80s on the weekend. It's the only time you ever got to see it. And it's really cool. It's kind of like Benji, but like with BMX bikes instead of a dog. And in Australia. It's like Australia's Benji. It's good. It's fun. It's like a coming of age tale, but not really. No, it's not a coming of age tale. What the fuck is it? It's like an action. It's like a kid's action movie because they're like on BMX bikes doing like kind of action, but they're also getting chased by bad guys. I guess it's an action movie, right? It's like a teenager's action movie from the 80s. It's great. I really enjoy watching it. I've seen it dozens of times, I'm sure. I didn't realize Nicole Kidman was in it. Like, way after I had seen her in other stuff. After she had grown up and stuff, and I'd seen her in other stuff, I never realized that that was her in BMX Bandits. And I wonder if she did her own... I don't think she did her own stunts, because if you look, it's definitely a dude doing her stunts. And it opens with the two main, like, the two male leads putting on masks and then doing stunts. So clearly they have stunt doubles. But I did hear that in a different movie called Rad, which is an American BMX movie about the same time, that Aunt Becky is in that. Right? She's like the female lead. And I heard she did her own stunts. Like, she's actually a good BMX bike rider. So I was like, wow, Aunt Becky. That's cool. I think it's Aunt Becky, right? The one that was married to John Stamos. It's really cool. You should check it. If you've never seen this movie and you like 80s nostalgia, it's great. The performances are really good. they're really good considering the age of the actors. For, you know, the leads, they're pretty good, you know. The one kid looks like the guy, like a young version of the one guy from Wham who isn't George Michael, the Andy guy. I think his name's Andy. He looks like a young version of that kid. And then the more handsome version, or like the more handsome, like looks like Italian, I guess. His name's Angelo D'Angelo. It sounds pretty Italian. Nicole Kidman. And then the two slapstick guys are pretty funny. The action, the suspense music is very 80s. It's so 80s. It's literally why retro movies are the way they are. It's perfect. And the boss guy, the bad guy, is, you know, adequately bad, but not too bad. You know, you're not like terrified. It's a kid's movie. And like the supporting characters are cool. There's a couple looping. It seemed like a couple loop issues, because like this one kid is like on a walkie-talkie and they're like, yeah, he's going down the road. Like it looked like that voice doesn't match that kid's face at all. Probably just didn't want to pay that extra kid. You know, they didn't want to pay the extra, which is some weak ass shit. But you should definitely check this movie out. It gets, for me, it gets 8 out of 10 joints for being freaking awesome, and reminding me of being like a 10-year-old watching TV on the weekend.